Hi guys, it's that time of the week again. It's our Sunday forecast. So this is where I'm going to pull 7 cards to represent the 7 days ahead, and we're going to see what the week has in store for us. I always extend this reading on my YouTube, so you can search Microblonde Tarot, or the link is in my bio. I also offer private tarot readings, so the link is there for that as well. Let's see, what does the week have in store as we enter September? Okay, let's see. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. We open with the 4 of Wands. So the 4 of Wands is about celebration. It's about a very uplifted energy. It could be a reason to celebrate good news, good times. Sometimes it's an actual celebration, like a wedding or a christening or a birth announcement or something like that. But it can just be in the example of good news and uplifting energy. For some people, they will resonate with this card as the twin flame card, because it is the 4 wands can be taken as the 1111, which is one of the twin flame symbols, but it's not going to be like that for everybody. But I would say it's a good start to the week. Good news, positivity, celebrations, fun times, that kind of energy. A good start. Day 2, we get Judgment. So Judgment's an interesting card. It is a major arcana, which is one of the more powerful messages. It can be about realizing yourself. Okay, in this card, this person is kind of like rising from within their self. So it can be like Phoenix from the flames. It can be self-development. It can be growth and change. But in its most basic sense, Judgment is around resurrection, conversations, communication. So it could be taken a lot of ways. When we clarify using the second deck, we'll get a lot more information about that. But I would say it's about knowing your worth and your value. And yes, there could be some kind of resurrection or communication that brings something back to life, or allows you to really express yourself in some way. Okay, day 3, the 2 of Swords. So the swords in tarot are about our thought processes and our mind. And the 2s are often about choices or decisions or confusion. And this person seems to be being pulled in 2 directions, wearing a blindfold. So there could be something around the middle of the week where you just feel very, very torn, very confused. You're not sure which choice is going to be the best choice, or you're not even sure if you're able to make a choice or a decision at that time. So what I always say when you're feeling like this is it's better, where possible, to just take a minute to give yourself the grace that you don't need to decide right now, or you don't have all of the information right now, because sometimes for me the blindfold represents you can't see everything clearly, or not everything has been shown to you. Okay, so if you're feeling a little bit torn or confused around the middle of the week, that will be expected. And then day 4, we get the 3 of Swords. So the 3 of Swords can represent pain, emotional pain or heartache. Occasionally it can actually represent surgery. If anyone's going in for surgery this week, it is usually a good indication of positive outcomes. But really it's also about healing, the heart being repaired, the heart being sewn up after a difficult time. So it could be that this week you feel a little bit emotional, or that you realise that you've come a long way in your healing journey, that what you've been through has not defined you, and you are repairing on an emotional level. Okay, day 5, the 9 of Wands. So the 9 of Wands is a very persistent energy. It is a message about not giving up, because sometimes it's like you're almost at the finish line. Don't give up now thinking that you're miles away, because actually you're almost there, and you just need to rally enough energy to be persistent and push through to achieve your outcome or your desired result. Sometimes for me, the 9 of Wands is also about boundaries. This person is positioned like behind a fence, and sometimes this is about setting a boundary and protecting your own energy. Okay, so again, it will depend on your circumstance, but we will clarify that. Where are we? Day 6, the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is really like an investigating energy. This person has their head in a book full of ideas and full of knowledge, okay? Occasionally you will see readers say that this can be a card of spying or watching, and that is because it is about gathering information. So obviously when the tarot was first created, we didn't have social media, it wouldn't be taken that way. But it can be taken as investigating and gathering knowledge, which is why in a modern interpretation, it can be taken as spying and watching and, you know, figuring something out. But for some of you, it could be that you're deciding to study something new at the end of the week. It could be that you have decided that you want to learn more about something or develop yourself. Or it could be that you find something out, you discover something, you know, knowledge is passed on to you somehow. You see something, read something, hear something that is valuable. Okay, and in day 7, the 6 of Wands. So the 6 of Wands is success, it's victory. Sometimes it's victory after a very long battle. If you've been going through, you know, like a court case or a work tribunal, or you've just been battling for recognition. Sometimes it's about recognition and validation. Then this is a very, very good energy. The 6 of Wands is one of the cards that can represent kind of fame and fortune and being recognised on a larger scale, you know, on a larger platform. The lights are shining here. So it could be that your social media really, really grows and flourishes, or your business. It can be recognition for your existing kind of, you know, what you've already done, your hard work. So it can be things like bonuses, rewards, promotions. But if you have been going through something, particularly with this persistent energy here, this would, these two kind of in close proximity would represent a positive outcome to maybe a situation where you've really had to keep going to push through something. And maybe to get to this success, it's based on something that is revealed or found out. It depends. It's going to be a little bit different for everyone. But I am going to clarify using a second deck. I always use my Dark Mansion Tarot to clarify. So please stick around if you can. And if not, I'll see you soon. Okay, let's clarify the week ahead using the Dark Mansion Tarot. This is the Light Seers deck that I'm using here. Starting with the 4 of Wands for day 1. So celebration, good news, positivity, twin flame energy maybe for some of you. Let's see what is going on. What is going on here? The 6 of Cups, the 9 of Wands. We've got the 9 of Wands twice. And the Fool. Interesting. So the 6 of Cups can speak of longevity, history, or the past. Sometimes it's the past coming back around, like a past opportunity representing itself. For example, if you went to buy a property and you lost out, maybe that property becomes available. Or you went for a job and you didn't get it, but now there's another position available. Sometimes it's bringing something back around. Sometimes it's bringing a person back into communication or contact. But we do get the 9 of Wands here again, so this could be something that you've been hoping for or working towards or persisting on. And the 4 of Wands actually can also be taken about home and kind of like setting up home. So as I mentioned that, maybe there has been something where you finally complete on a property, or a property that you thought you couldn't afford or you couldn't get actually comes back around, because the Fool represents a new journey. Like a new opportunity or a new beginning. So for some of you, this could be home related. For some of you, this is starting a new journey in terms of, you know, maybe reconnecting with somebody. Maybe if this is a twin flame thing, maybe there is a new chapter coming, a new cycle coming in that. But as we know, that is not always the easiest. But yes, there is something linked to the past or history or longevity that kind of resurfaces, puts you on a new path, and represents a new beginning. So that is your celebration, that is your positivity. Okay, day 2, judgment. Are you judging yourself? Is someone else judging you? Again, this can be resurrection energy, which is interesting with that 6 of Cups on day 1. The Knight of Swords, the 7 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Swords. Okay, so the Knight of Swords is about taking action. Okay, so taking definite action, and maybe this is something you've been doing to overcome self-doubt. So I do feel that in this instance, judgment is how you're feeling about yourself. The 5 of Pentacles can sometimes be feeling that we're not good enough, or we're not understood, or we're not prioritized. And the 9 of Swords is fear. Okay, fear and anxiety. But there's some kind of action to overcome this. And this could actually be an investment in yourself, okay? But this could also be like a financial investment. Maybe you've decided to do some therapy. Maybe you've decided to invest in yourself in some way. But I think in this instance, although it could be incoming communication, because occasionally the Knight of Swords can represent this, I think it's more about overcoming your own fears and doubts, and you know, maybe how you've been feeling about yourself. Okay, day 3, the Two of Swords. So this can be confusion or feeling torn or uncertain. Let's see. About what? About what? The Seven of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, about making a change. The Three of Cups and the Sun. Okay, it is positive, because the Three of Cups can be around spending time with others, spending time with friends, or taking advice or talking to friends. The Sun is a very positive outcome. It's happiness, it's freedom. And the Wheel of Fortune is powerful change. But maybe you're resistant to making some sort of change because it feels like a big change. So maybe, you know, a change of career, maybe relocating, maybe something on a bigger scale that you've been avoiding. And it's almost like maybe you've been avoiding allowing yourself to really trust that you can be happy or that you can be free, because there is an energy of freedom here. But something is turning in your favor, and there's definitely a change coming in. It's just that you feel a little bit resistant to it. So try to trust it. If there is confusion, trust that whatever change is coming or whatever change is being presented to you, it's good, it's positive. Okay, the Three of Swords. So this can be healing, this can be heartache, emotional turmoil. But for me, it feels like repair. And this week may be significant in the repair or the way you're feeling. As I said, for a handful of people, it sometimes can represent surgery. And it would be, you know, in a positive way. The Knight of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the King of Wands, the Moon. We've had the Moon in the major reading for a couple of weeks, but this is obviously coming out as a clarifier. So maybe there's some sort of revelation that you find within yourself. But it's interesting that we've got King of Wands, King of Swords, because you could have been dealing with two very different masculine energies. And yes, this could have created emotional heartache or upset, because the King of Swords can be quite cold or detached or sharp. The King of Wands is a bit more fiery and passionate. And because they're quite an opposite energy, maybe you've been dealing with a really like hot and cold situation, or two people that, you know, have kind of created a lot of mess for you, created a lot of uncertainty for you. The healing for me feels less physical and more emotional with the Moon there, because that is about emotions and feelings. And I think it's just saying be cautious. Be cautious of who you give your heart to, and be cautious of who you let have access to, like, the deepest parts of you. Oh, that's a bit of a deep message, isn't it? All right, the Nine of Wands, day 5, persistence or perseverance. Okay. Eight of Wands, conversations. Eight of Swords, Six of Wands. So we've got Six of Wands in very close proximity twice. So there is incoming communication or conversations that are very positive. The Six of Wands is success, victory, positivity. So I think that this, I just get this very strong energy towards the end of next week. You've got good news, and it's good news about something that you almost gave up on, or just didn't think that you would hear about, or just felt like you couldn't give any more energy to. Let's see what this Page of Swords is, because it can be knowledge, gaining knowledge, information. The Star, the Page of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. So the Star is about hope and wish fulfillment and emotional healing as well. The Queen of Cups is trusting your intuition, and also it's a very empathic energy. And then the Page of Pentacles, embarking on something new. A lot of you, I think this might be learning something new, or deciding to study something new, where you're sort of helping others. It's a very empath energy. So it could be, you know, studying something to understand other people better, or do some kind of healing, or, you know, that kind of thing. But there's something about knowledge, and the knowledge is about kind of giving to others because of what you've learnt yourself. A bit cryptic. All right, Six of Wands on day 7. So success, celebration, victory. It could be finding out something that allows you to heal, to be at peace with something, new information. All right, Six of Wands, the Death card, the Ten of Swords, and Judgment. Interesting, we've got Judgment again. The Ten of Swords is about clear endings, and then the Death card is about new beginnings. So there's something to be said here about successful outcomes that bring you closure. Closure of a chapter which allows you to move forward. So for some of you, this could be a new job or a promotion or deciding to set up your own business. But in order to do this, you have to leave something behind, or you have to give yourself, you know, you have to shut the door on one thing. So it's like you can't hold on to both things. One thing has to be left behind for you to move forward and be successful. And maybe it's like you tried one thing, you tried one style of business, or you tried one style of something and it didn't work out, and now you found your niche and now you found your way. It's going to be a little bit different for everyone here. What's the bottom of the deck saying? Nine of Pentacles, yeah, abundance, growth, success, abundance. It's an interesting week. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but overall the energy is bringing in powerful positive change and solutions and things like that. Let's just see what the Lenormand wants to add. The Child, the Ship, the Mountain, and the Home. There's definitely something where some of you are moving this week, and it's like the house of your dreams, or something you thought wasn't going to go through, or something you thought you weren't going to get because obstacles being removed to put you in a happy home, or a happy home situation, moving in with a partner, talking about moving in, getting the house of your dreams, something like that, because the ship is moving you towards this. And the Child is about new, something new, okay, a new opportunity, a new pathway, especially as we had the Fool at the beginning. So this week is powerful, positive change, and things really turning around, which I think has been needed because we've had quite a lot of heavy energy for a while. So I hope it helps. Let me know.